argument and points to evidence that you know nothing about the issue at all. The other thing that you mentioned that I want to address, because you do bring up some stupid shit, is who built the White House. My guess is you're going to say, and just confirm yes or no, and then I'll continue. But yes or no, you're going to say it was built by slaves, correct?
Well, an independent contractor that employed slaves or that had slaves.
Hold on. I'll get to you.
But they definitely weren't government slaves. I'll tell you that. There's no record to say the government owned slaves.
I think I can handle this part of it. Tony, yes or no? Were you going to say slaves built the White House?
The information's in the chat.
So you don't want to talk about it. Let's see. I don't know. I don't even know what the fuck you put in chat. You spam the chat. So why don't you answer me yes or no? Were you going to say that the slaves built the White House? Okay, you don't want to answer. It's a social audio app. Okay, Tony doesn't want to have an audio conversation. So no, the slaves partially built the White House. It was designed by James Hoban, and there was also free black laborers. So there were blacks that were free. They participated on that project. There was also immigrants, and this included some highly skilled people, that understood things like stonemasonry. So that was Irish and Scottish predominantly, but yes, there were some slaves that contributed. But the idea that people just shorthand say that the White House was built by slaves, partially true, partially untrue. So yeah, but Tony doesn't know his history. Tony thinks that the U.S. government coming up with the 3/5 clause was a negative thing for black people. It was actually a positive thing. In fact, the best thing for them would have been for them to have not been counted at all. But he doesn't know that because he doesn't fucking read.
Well, and Roger, and this is where I want to continue to belabor the point that the United States government never owned any slaves. So, allowing something and somebody driving that train are two different things. You allowing something and not stopping the train by intervening as the government is entirely separate from a person who's committing the act. So for that reason, I don't feel like the government should have to pay reparations. They shouldn't. And where does the line stop? Okay, are you going to give reparations to women? Are you going to give reparations to women because their female counterparts behind them had to be their votes weren't counted? They weren't extended the same type of constitutional rights that women now get to experience today. Where does the line stop? Where does it stop?
It stops when people stop fighting for it.
Or is it just exclusively special because of black people?
Come on. Why are the people against reparations so angry about it? There's no.
That's the crazy part to me.
This conversation is not going to sway the United States government.
If you and the proponents of reparations want to sue individual slave owners and bloodlines, then have at it. But leave our federal government tax dollars alone. That's all we're saying.
Can I finish? Why? I don't get the anger, but.
Yo, Kimmy, your phone sounds a little muffled, champ.
We don't get the anger. Why are you trying to dip into our tax dollars? We don't get the anger.
Tony, what do you think about the national debt? If we pay out, and Hakeem, if we pay out reparations to African descendants of slaves here in America, what do you think about the federal debt? How much should we increase the federal debt by? 2 trillion, 5 trillion, 10 trillion, 50 trillion? How many trillions would make you happy? Thank you very much for consideration of this question.
No trillion, not a single. Wait, hold on. There is a group out there advocating that the debt that's owed is $6 quadrillion, which is 46 or 47 times the global GDP. So not only are they asking for something that's unreasonable, they're asking for something that's mathematically not feasible.
But I was asking Hakima and Tony, how many trillions would make your claim, satisfied? Thank you.
I'm gonna try to answer. The debt is a joke. Like people are complaining about the debt from $1 trillion now to 37 trillion, and people gonna still be complaining about the debt when they get 150 trillion. Like it is a fucking joke. It's never gonna go away. It's never gonna get paid. The spending, the borrowing is not gonna stop.
Okay, so your first point is it's a joke, but how many trillions would satisfy the debt? Thank you for the consideration of the question.
May I finish? But back to what he's gone now. Jason said somehow Great Britain had they are the ones who instituted did slavery. That's the not check. I mean they was a major role, but they definitely stopped. The War 1812, they definitely came and burnt down the fucking White House. And that's what Tony talked about when the slaves rebuilt it. But how are you blaming the fucking British when you whoop their ass and something packed to now go back and say the British owe or Spanish owe or Portugal owe, everybody but the United States government owes the debt. It's just crazy for him to say that what I said was the truth, that the government didn't suppress slave revolts. They totally did. They definitely had federal laws that allowed slavery. So they act like, the federal government just sat back and allowed it. So, but they're not responsible. That's ridiculous. This wouldn't be a country if the federal government don't have any responsibility. Like, what is their
Okay,
role?
do you think 17 trillion would be a good number? 17 trillion, Hakima?
Chill, man. I want to derail a good conversation.
I'm just asking how many trillions. No one's giving me the answer but Tony. I don't want to argue either, but Tony put 17 trillion in the chat. Hakima, do you agree with 17 trillion?
John's been trying to derail with the stupid debt thing.
It doesn't make any sense, man. But Hakima, man, if we're gonna be honest, right? I'm surprised that you're surprised that people have a visceral reaction to the idea of reparations. I think reparations are reprehensible, and I think that I would be embarrassed if I supported reparations. I would feel like less than myself. I'm not talking about you, how you should feel. I'm saying that I would I look at it as tantamount to begging. This is the way I view reparations. And so, my tax dollars would be going towards paying reparations. And I think it's despicable. I think the idea of reparations is despicable. That it's a stain on the history of America. Slavery was. It's horrible. It's horrific. It's all of those things. But
17 trillion is not that much, Anthony. Jeez, it's only 17 trillion.
I pray that I don't get a green bean, John, because I will see your ass later, bro. Listen.
Don't get angry. It's just 17 trillion.
Anthony, hold on. We're not doing
interruptions today. The one thing that separates this room from the rest of the fucking rooms on Clubhouse. No interruption.
Except when I'm speaking.
I'd like to jump in after Anthony when there's.
I would like to as well. I'm almost landed, y'all. I'm almost landed. So, Hakima, there was a legal framework in this country. All right? It was legal. The government doesn't owe anybody shit. The citizens of this country inherited slavery. They made a decision to keep it legal. They paid for it in blood with the Civil War. This idea that people are owed anything, it's despicable. Thank you for the.
I mean, I guess you would take that viewpoint, all things considered. But to say it's begging, I mean, that's anti-capitalism. It's a debt, and capitalism in this system is built on debt. So basically, we saying that since you guys didn't pay the debt right away, it goes away. Let's set that precedent where we just let debt go the fuck away. Just because somebody the person in power refused to pay it. Because they hadn't paid that shit in 1865, we wouldn't have this conversation. Maybe the slaves would have blew the money and shit would have been over with and we would have been probably worse off or whatever. But they should have fucking paid it. And just for the simple fact they did not fucking pay it, now that people are asking, what people have been asking, like Brian said earlier, all of a sudden you ask for reparations. It's not all of a fucking sudden. You've been asking for this shit for over 100 years. And okay, you got it.
Hang on, CEO. No, I just wanted to keep it brief. Were you done?
No, I wasn't done. Did I mute
Okay,
up?
go ahead, man. Go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
Well, I just asked if you were done, so you can continue.
I was talking. How the fuck you stop me from talking and ask me am I done?
It was made by mistake, Hakima. That was by mistake.
Take a breath.
I did it by mistake, Hakima. It was a mistake on my end.
No, I saw a move come. I go, whatever. Y'all weird and stuff. Y'all get.
I was going to say briefly, so Mojo, you were giving Jason flowers earlier for dropping facts about really the federal government never had any involvement with the oppression of black people in this country. So just a couple of highlighting points. Obviously, the voting rights for black people came much later.